Hello everyone, welcome you all once again to this online session. Till now we have finished two chapters in chemistry. First chapter we did this chemical reactions and equations. In that we had learnt balancing chemical equation, different types of chemical reactions, right? In the second chapter, that is your periodic classification of elements, we had learnt about Newland's law of octaves, your Mendel's periodic table, their merits and demerits, modern periodic table, how are the elements arranged in your modern periodic table, metallic properties, non-metallic properties. These things we have done in the chapter. I think by now you all must have studied that and you'll be thorough with those two lessons. Okay, so today I'll be starting with the second chapter, that is acids, bases and salts. In today's session we'll have a brief introduction about acids, their properties, bases, their properties, indicators, types and their uses. Okay, so whenever people suffer from acidity, they tend to have one or more symptoms of what is shown here, like heartburning, they'll have a vomiting sensation, they'll have flatulence or a feeling of fullness, and then they'll have a difficulty in swallowing. These are the symptoms. So you have learnt in your lower classes that your stomach produces hydrochloric acid, and that hydrochloric acid has the ability to kill the germs that are entering along with your food to some extent, right? So when this acid level in your stomach increases, you tend to suffer from acidity. So what are acids? Acids are substances that are sour to taste, and they turn blue litmus red. I've given a picture here. See, litmus paper is introduced to a piece of lemon. It's blue in color, and the portion that is getting in contact with the piece of lemon is turning red. So this acid has a tendency to turn blue litmus red. If it is going to be red litmus, it will remain as it is. And their aqueous solution conduct electric current. I have taught you about aqueous solutions also. Anything that gets mixed well with water, that forms an aqueous solution. Then they give hydrogen ions in aqueous solution. This you should remember. Acids tend to give hydrogen ions in aqueous solution, and they have the ability to corrode metals, right? So these are the basic properties of acids. Now, based on the properties, these acids are classified into different types, like organic acids and inorganic acids, and based on their release of ions in aqueous solution, they are classified as strong acids and weak acids. And then based on their concentration, they are classified as concentrated acid and dilute acid. First we'll learn about this organic and inorganic acid. Organic acid or those acids that are tend to be edible in by nature. Edible means which you can consume. So we'll discuss that. Those substances that contain acids, like your lemons, oranges, your curd, they all contain some kind of acid in them. So they are said to be organic acids or edible acids. Then strong acids and weak acids. You should know these things thoroughly. See, acids when in aqueous solution tend to release more number of hydrogen ions, are said to be strong acids, and those that release a lesser amount of hydrogen ions are said to be weak acids. Or in other words, you can say strong acids completely dissociate. Dissociate means getting separated into their ions in water, are said to be strong acids, while weak acids dissociate partially. Okay, I've given few examples of strong and weak acids here. Hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, your sulfuric acid, these are all strong acids, and these acids are used in our laboratory. Okay, and then weak acids are given examples here, your sulfurous acid, your methanoic acid. These are the examples of weak acids. Just you should know what do you mean by a strong acid and what do you mean by a weak acid. Strong acids are those acids that tend to produce more number of hydrogen ions in aqueous solution, or they completely dissociate into their ions in water, while weak acid tend to release less number of hydrogen ions in aqueous solution. Or you can say that weak acids only partially dissociate into their ions. Okay, then coming to the classification based on the concentration. You know, it can be divided into concentrated acid and sulfuric acid. No, concentrated acid means what? The acid amount will be more, whereas water will be less. Whenever you need to dilute an acid, you have to add acid to water. It is not mixing water with acid. No, you have to add acid to water. You have to measure. No, the amount of water should be more and acid should be less. That is how we dilute. Okay, so these things you should know. Okay, based on their concentration, they are divided into concentrated acid and diluted acid. Based on their release of ions in aqueous solution, they are classified as strong acids and weak acid, and based on their source, they are classified as organic acids and inorganic acid. And I told you organic acids are called as edible acids and inorganic acids are called as mineral acids. Now just we will learn about acidic substances in everyday life, or in other words, as I told you just now, we'll be learning about organic acids that are edible by nature, means that can be consumed. Your vinegar contains acetic acid, so we consume vinegar, so it contains acetic acid. So acetic acid is an edible acid, or you can call it as an organic acid. Yogurt, your curd, your milk, they all contain lactic acid. Lemons, oranges, these are all some fruits which contain citric acid, right? And then your tamarind contain this tartaric acid. Your butter has butyric acid. Okay, tomatoes contain oxalic acid. So whenever you suffer from acidity, they tell you to avoid these food items or take it less in number. Okay, normally when you suffer from acidity as a home remedy, what do they give you? They give you lime water with some amount of butter in that. Butter is acidic by nature, and lime water, which is base by nature, neutralizes and you get relief from this acidity. Or in otherwise you go for antacids, tablets or medicines which are antacids. So they neutralize the effect of acid that is getting produced in your stomach, and then you get relief from these symptoms. Right now we'll learn about bases. So what are bases? Bases are substances that in aqueous solution release hydroxide ions, whereas acids release hydrogen ions. They are soapy to touch and they turn red litmus blue. If it's going to be blue litmus, it will remain acetous, and they are bitter to taste. So these are the properties of bases. Bases are soapy to touch, they turn red litmus blue, and they are bitter to taste. Okay, now these bases are also classified into strong and weak bases, same like that. A strong base is a base that is completely dissociated in an aqueous solution. They tend to yield more number of hydroxide ions in aqueous solution. In that case, they are called as strong base. Examples of strong base are when your sodium hydroxide, your calcium hydroxide, your potassium hydroxide. These are all strong bases. Weak bases, they tend to produce less number of hydroxide ions in aqueous solution, or you can define them as a weak base is a base that upon dissolution in water does not dissociate completely, so that the resulting aqueous solution contains only a small proportion of hydroxide ions, or in other words you can say they release less number of hydroxide ions in aqueous solution. Example, the best example for a weak base is your ammonia, and then you can say this ammonium hydroxide is also a weak base. Okay, then coming to the concept of indicators. What are indicators? Indicators are those substances which tell us whether a substance is acidic or basic by observing a change in the color of that substance, which is used as an indicator. So indicators are substances that are used to identify whether the given substance is an acidic substance or a basic substance by noting the color change. See, I have given few examples of indicators here. Your red litmus, blue litmus, your turmeric, red cabbage juice, phenolphthalein, methyl orange, onion, vanilla. These are the examples of few indicators. So these indicators can be classified as natural indicators, synthetic indicators, and olfactory indicators. Natural indicators, the examples given here are turmeric, your red cabbage juice. These are the examples of natural indicators. Your onion and vanilla are olfactory indicators. They have a strong smell. Your phenolphthalein, methyl orange, these are all synthetic indicators. Now let's talk about their original color and what color change is observed when it is coming in contact with, when it is used to test the nature of a substance, whether it is acidic or basic. So if the substance is acid by nature, your red litmus paper will remain red, whereas if it is going to be a base, your red litmus paper is going to turn blue. When you use a blue litmus paper, it is vice versa. If the substance is acidic, the blue litmus paper will turn red. If the substance is going to be a base, the blue litmus paper will not undergo any color change. I want you to learn this table thoroughly. Okay. Then turmeric. Original color of turmeric is yellow. So when it is used to test the nature of a substance, if the substance is going to be acidic, in that case the turmeric will not undergo any color change. Whereas if the given substance is going to be a base, the yellow color of the turmeric is going to turn into reddish brown. Then when you are using red cabbage juice as a indicator, I have given a red cabbage figure also here, you see, which is purple in color, right? So if the substance is going to be acidic in nature, this purple color will turn into reddish color, and if it is going to be a base, the purple color of the red cabbage juice will turn into greenish yellow. Okay, so this color change will help you to identify whether a substance is acidic by nature or basic by nature. Then coming to phenolphthalein, we'll be using this phenolphthalein, methyl orange, all these things in our lab. Phenolphthalein, it's a colorless solution. So when they are used to test the nature of a substance, if the substance is acidic, the colorless phenolphthalein will remain the same. It will not undergo any color change. Whereas if the substance is going to be a base, this phenolphthalein will turn pink. Remember this. Phenolphthalein is an indicator which is colorless by nature. If the substance is acidic, the phenolphthalein will remain as it is. If the substance is going to be a base, it will turn pinkish in color. Methyl orange, on its usage to test the nature of a substance, if the substance is going to be acidic by nature, will turn red, whereas if it's going to be a base, it will turn yellow. Then onion and vanilla, I said they have a strong smell, so they are called as olfactory indicators. So this change in the smell will help us to identify the nature of the substance. So when you're using onion to test an acidic substance, the smell will remain the same. There won't be any change, right? Whereas if the substance is going to be a base, the strong odor of this onion will vanish. Then coming to vanilla, vanilla also has got a very sweet smell. This vanilla essence is used by us when we prepare, ice creams, cakes and all. So this sweet smell of the vanilla will remain as it is when the substance is going to be acidic. If the substance is acidic, vanilla will retain its smell. Whereas if the substance is going to be a base, the smell will vanish. Understood? So this table should be learnt by you thoroughly. Apart from this, I want you to learn few uses of these acids, like your nitric acid. Nitric acid is used in the manufacturing of fertilizers. They are used in the manufacturing of detergents. Your phosphoric acid also is used in manufacturing fertilizers. Formic acid, you have learned this in your lower classes. It is there present in your ant bite and all, right? Then so these are the things that we have learned today, and we have learned the properties of acids, the properties of bases, about indicators, few examples of acids and bases. These things we have covered today. So apart from this litmus is obtained from the tree called lichen. Okay, so this litmus can also be called as a natural indicator. Then you have an universal indicator. which is a combination of all indicators that also we'll be using in our lab when we are doing those practical sessions, right? So just you remember, acids are substances that are sour to taste. They produce hydrogen ions in aqueous solution, and they turn blue litmus red. Properties of bases: bases are bitter to taste, they are soapy to touch, they produce hydroxide ions in aqueous solution. Based on their originality, they can classify it as organic acids, inorganic acids. Based on their origin, basically we can classify them as organic acid and inorganic acid. Based on their ionic concentration, they can be classified as strong acids and weak acids. What did I say? In aqueous solution, if they tend to produce more number of hydrogen ions, they are called as strong acid. If they produce less number of hydrogen ions, they are said to be weak acids. Strong bases and weak bases also I told you. Then based on the concentration, they can be concentrated acid and diluted acid, and I told you how acids are diluted for laboratory usage. You should not add water to acid, you should add acid to water, that too by measuring the amount. Water should be more and acid should be less. Okay, then we did about these bases and then their properties. Examples we had done. What are strong bases? In aqueous form, they release large number of hydroxide ions, whereas if it's going to be base, they are going to produce less number of hydroxide ions. Indicators are substances that are used to tell us whether the given substance is acidic or basic by nature. They are classified as natural indicators, olfactory indicators, and synthetic indicators. Natural indicators, I gave you examples of this: turmeric, your red cabbage juice, even your rose petals, they can be used as natural indicators. And your synthetic indicators: methyl orange, phenolphthalein. Olfactory indicator, your onion, vanilla, these are all olfactory indicators. So as far as your olfactory indicator is concerned, if the substance is going to be acidic, the smell will remain the same. If it's going to be a base, the smell will vanish. Phenolphthalein, you should remember, phenolphthalein is colorless by nature. So if the substance is acidic, the phenolphthalein solution will remain acetous. If it's going to be a base, it's a pink color will be formed in that. And your methyl orange will turn red if the substance is acid. If the substance is going to be a base, it will turn yellow. Okay, so these things you should learn. Please revise them carefully, and I'll meet you very shortly with the next part. There is reaction of acids, metals, non-metals. Those things we'll be doing in the next session. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Take care.